Hey folks, Scarpo. Friends. It's hard to know who your friends are anymore. When I was younger, the people that I hung out with were my friends. And you didn't generally call people on the phone unless they were friends that you hung out with. The internet has changed that drastically. And 10 years ago, I would say, well, it might be a good place to meet people, but you can't really know someone online. And it's true. I still believe that today. But I also am really starting to question in life whether you can even know the very people you live with or that you spend time with, your family, your friends. When I go to hang out with one of my particular friends, any one of my friends, they're going to be themselves, but they're going to put on a particular act that correlates with our past antics and behaviors together. For example, I go to hang out with one buddy and he might crack a joke that only I would understand. We might kind of have a really sick humor. And then when another friend comes over, all of a sudden the humor changes up. Maybe we try to have a little more tact or respect. Generally, we're all pretty nasty, joking around and stuff, but I'm trying to give an example. Or let's say somebody's mom comes over, okay? That's a better example. Everybody's sitting there talking about all this nasty stuff, and then mom comes over and everything changes. The people haven't changed, right? The group hasn't changed. It's just the tact with which we interact with one another has changed. And I think that's a really important thing to consider, because it's just the same way when I'm sure everybody knows somebody who's having a totally serious conversation with you. I mean, totally serious conversation, and all of a sudden their phone rings, and then they're like, blah, 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 blah. Hello? Oh, yes. They put on a front. You're not going to carry your intensity of your emotion onto the next person. So when you're hanging out with friends, it's easy to see that emotion kind of come and go. When you're online, let's say you get into a discussion with someone, they could have just ended a discussion with someone who was completely different in personality and therefore be resistant to a conversation because, of who they've been talking with before that. But even more than that, I think that making friends online, on social networking or YouTube or whatnot, I feel like I know some of those people, some of you people out there, better than I know folks I grew up with, only because, well, my friends and I have had similar experiences together as we grew up. They were limited in the scope. We might hang out for a couple hours a day, go skateboarding or something. But our personal lives and what we did off the clock, so to speak, were completely different. And as kids, it's easier to ignore what we do and our little antics and sillinesses. But as you get older, you start to see that in your friends, and you're like, oh, I don't want to go to your house and play video games. And the other guy says, I don't really want to go out and play football or whatever. Everybody just kind of falls into their little things. And you still see your friends once in a while. But your behavior is carried on from the behaviors that you developed with them over the time. Now, the people who you meet online are often, or the people that I meet online, I guess this only goes if you're talking about a general type of person, like the people who feel me and understand where I'm coming from and who are also on the same search. These are people that I may never have met, but you've all been down the same road as me. So you've hit some of the same walls as me. You've hit some of the same conclusions as me and fooled yourself as I have, or looked beyond something. And I think that that's one of the most important things to remember, is that each one of us really is completely different, no matter how similar we may think we are. And friends are really important. And it's okay if your friends aren't even physical friends that you've never touched or talked to or hung out with. I've met people online in real life and not been disappointed. you can tell when a person's full of shit. And so don't be too suspicious of people. You know, make as many friends as you can. It's all about connections, this world. And we can make a lot of them now. But make sure that the connections that you do make are ones that are worthy of your time and of theirs. So, have a great evening.